Overcoming your environment, part 1. When you see same people, same situations, when you are in the same situation every single day and you respond in the same way, it's not about that you are trapped into the same environment. You are trapped into your habitual response that you give them. You have the triggers, you have the buttons that people can pull, and people can they can make you feel emotions out of your own control. They can make you feel angry, they can make you feel guilty, they can make you feel things that you don't even want to feel in your normal life. So these are the triggers. It's not about the environment, it's not about your colleague, or it's not about that specific friend that you have who makes you the way you feel bad about. So in this part 1, I'm gonna talk about how your identity shapes your reality with the environment. We all know that the neuron that fires together, it wires together, and when you respond in the same way to the same person every single day, that neural path gets stronger and stronger. And when that neural path gets stronger and stronger, that becomes your personality, because people will know that this is how you're gonna respond. As we know that auntie who is gonna respond in anger, and that uncle who is always calm. So this is your personality, the neural pathways that are fired and wired together so many times that they are stronger now. Now your repeated patterns of your identity, your self-concept, your own image, self-image, this is what your identity is. And that is the same identity that determines how you see the world, how you create things, how you act as a creator, and that determines what you call the reality. The reality is output. How you see it, how you perceive it is the input. So whatever input you have in your mind, that is how you gonna perceive the output, the reality. For example, if you are a singer, you will look at the world from different eyes. If you are a poet, you will look at the world from different eyes. Now let's take an example of few people who have changed their internal state, who have changed their identity and their personality, so that external world, external environment can match their internal world. What we people do is we make ourselves comfortable with whatever reality we are facing right now. But the great people who did change in the world, who did change in themselves, they changed their self internally first. So let's take example of Lady Gaga. It's more like how she perceived herself, that she can be the greatest singer in the world, and she is right now, because she never doubted herself. Even though if she doubted herself, she never stopped. She kept going and kept going. Same as for Michael Jackson. If you have watched the movie Michael, where he is having a very not pleasant childhood, a father who is very strict, and a childhood which is not a very pleasant childhood, as I must say, but he kept believing in himself. He was creative enough and he believed in God. And when there was this scene when he was on the pool and he says that God is gonna send me the lyrics, God is gonna send me the idea, and I have to write it, I have to keep still myself, I have to be still, and God will send me the ideas and I will write it down and I will create it. So he acted as if he was the receiver, whatever God is sending him or whatever the universe is sending him. So if I talk about triggers, how to get ahead from that. When you are being triggered, try to observe it, try to pay attention to what it is. When you pay attention, that means you have caught it. Now what to do? You have to see that where is that button in you that is being pulled by someone else. What is that trigger? Maybe that is something happened with when you were a child. For example, if someone said that, oh, look at you, you're not this or that, and you go back into your childhood and see that your teacher is saying the same thing. So that's how the responses work. At that point of time when you were a child, you invested so much emotions into it, you felt so bad that right now if somebody, just a random person on street, say you same thing, those emotions get risen up, and that is how triggering work. Now I do have solution for this. If I tell this in 2-3 lines, it will go like, go back to your childhood while you are in a theta wave. Theta wave means while you have fully relaxed your body, and go back into your childhood and recreate that memory, so that you can lessen the emotional intensity from that scene that was created in your past. And the second thing is, choose your behavior or choose your attitude before the trigger. Now you know that this is what is going to trigger me. So whenever I tell you the same thing, oh, you are ugly, you cannot do this, try to change your attitude, not the other person. Change. For example, you can think in your mind that I can change. I have the ability to change. I have seen people changing in front of my eyes. I have read about books about them, and I believe in myself, and I don't care about the opinion that they are sharing for me on my life, because they are not living my life. So it's how you can change your attitude. It was just an example of mine. You can create your own. And the third important point is focus on what you are becoming. For example, whatever you have in your mind, you want to become a singer, a writer, content creator, always have this in mind that you need to be first, then do, then have it. Most people say that I will do it, then I will have it, then I will be the person. For example, first of all, I will write a book and then have a book in my hands, then I will be a writer. But no, first become a writer before you are writing your book. When you are a writer, when you are thinking from that perspective and you are writing from that perspective, your brain will be much more effective than you ever could thought before this. Now, in the concept of overcoming your environment, it doesn't mean that you have to change your environment, but change the input to change the output. Now, what is input? Your self-concept is the input. How you see yourself, how you perceive yourself is the input. And how you see the world, how you perceive the world, or whatever in a way the world appears in front of you is the output. You cannot wait for the world to change. You cannot wait for environment to change. For example, we have seen people who are from huts and they have changed their life for good. We have seen people who show up on Instagram with just random reel and they go viral and they change their environment, right? So how do they change their environment? The first point is, listen to me carefully. The first point is they didn't change their environment. They changed their internal state. They posted that reel. They kept being consistent. They kept being posting and they kept believing in themselves. And that's how with consistency their world got changed. Not before, but after they have changed their self internally. Now, Gurleen, I have been from part 1 to this part. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is simple. To overcome your environment, you do not need to change your environment. You need to change yourself internally. Have the idealized version in your brain and be that first. Always think in the terms of success. Always think in the term that you already got it, okay? For example, if you want to be rich and you think that you are poor, you will never take a risk. And if you think you are rich already, you will never be afraid to take the risk. And that is the risk that will make you rich. Now you have to hold the same version that you created in your mind for long enough timeline that your current environment change. Your current environment will change by itself. Listen to me carefully. Your current environment will be changed by itself, but you have to hold that idealized version. You have to hold that desired version in your mind as if it is already here. Now the first point is, you are not your environment. You are not the people who surround you. You are not the situation you are surrounded by. Not your family, not your circumstances, not your past. The stories that people tell about you is not you. You have to change because you are the cause and everything else is just effect. And the second thing is, the only one thing that you can control is your frequency. And what is the frequency? Frequency are the emotions, your self-concept, your identity, your emotionally charged thoughts. Third point is, you will meet now the same people, you will have the same situation, you will be in the same circumstances, but the only thing that changed is your own attitude, how you behave, how you perceive things. And the last thing is, overcoming environment doesn't mean to escape the environment. It simply means refusing external world trigger your internal world. It just means changing the variable that actually matters, that is you, your internal state. So if you want to learn more about this, follow along and share your thoughts on it. Bye.